everyone, you guys are officially in my kitchen. I just felt like a change of scenery. Totally sick of the bare white wall. So it is the most wonderful time of the year for many of us. And if you are stuck with knowing what to get your ADHD loved one in your life, because look at it this way, we are so prone to changing our mind on things. We're prone to changing up our interests. 1 minute we're interested in something and it could seemingly be like really unique and crazy, and then 3 weeks later you fill in the blank. Not only do we switch up our interests a lot, but we also have other aspects to us like sensory issues. Sometimes we may get overwhelmed or overstimulated with certain things. So there are aspects in the life of someone with ADHD that can either calm them down or set them on the right track. So today's video isn't sponsored by any items that I may talk about in this video. It's just simply some ideas that can get you thinking with maybe, you know, what you might want to get your ADHD loved one. What to give somebody who constantly changes their mind about things that they are interested about. You know, a good go-to, I think, for most people is gifting an experience. An experience is usually a one-off, so there's generally no long-term commitment. It's not as though you're buying them a pony and they have to obviously take care of that pony over a long period of time. So an experience could be a day trip to Disneyland, depending where you live, obviously. There could be tickets to your loved one's favorite band or favorite play. A good thing about having an experience with the ADHD is that we get really sick and tired of the mundane. Everything just tends to get boring if there's too much repetition. So an experience is actually a great way to break up the ADHD is week to week, if that makes sense. It's a way for the ADHD to get out and about and break up their daily routine by doing something cool and unique. In my experience, having a one-off experience as a gift is something I find quite memorable. It adds a lot of quality to my life, actually being able to go out there and have certain experiences and things that I can look back on and eventually have nostalgia for. Some of the reason why many of us with ADHD tend to change our interests constantly is because we hit a plateau. ADHDers are able to progress well in their pursuits when they have a clear goal, a clear target that they can hit, and then they release dopamine. Sometimes though, those goals and targets aren't exactly very clear. Take for example, I sing, right? But I'm not always singing. I find it difficult to dedicate myself, discipline myself to practice when there's not a clear goal at the end or along the journey. Sometimes it makes it easier when I'm undergoing a project, like I'm recording a cover or I'm trying to learn a new song, or potentially that I will wind up performing somewhere. So there's a clear example of what it's like for me, and I think this goes for everyone really, but especially with those of us with ADHD, when we hit those targets, we release dopamine, and that's what keeps us coming back. That's what keeps it exciting, because we need our pursuits to remain exciting, and when there's something there for us to sink our teeth into, it's what we want to aim for with it. If things start to get boring and hit plateau, we're going to start losing interest, as unfortunate as it is. And that doesn't mean that we won't come back to it. We may take a break and then come back to it later when something sparks our interest again. But that interest tends to be then sparked from a particular goal or particular target once again. A situation where we can get excited. So a good gift for the ADHDer is something that can help them break through that plateau. So we'll find an example. Let's just say your ADHDer likes to play guitar. They've stopped looking at YouTube tutorials. They're not really going to their lessons properly. You don't really hear them practice all that much. They must be hitting a plateau. There's nothing interesting that's keeping them on track. So what will help them break their plateau? Well, my husband James, he plays guitar, and sometimes he'll have these bouts of inspiration. Oh, by the way, he doesn't have ADHD, but like I said, I guess this could go for everyone really. So he said to me, "Darlene, I really would love another guitar pedal for Christmas." That one's going to get him going for another week. So a guitar pedal, even though it's not exactly cheap, is a great example of something that can help break a plateau. But also more affordable options in this case could be a gift voucher for their favorite music store. It could be a band tee that has their favorite guitarist on it, something that will inspire them to keep going. And that one can be quite a biggie. It's not so much something physical and tangible that this person can get their hands on, but something that they can look at that can inspire them. Sometimes in order for us to keep on that journey and keep striving to achieve, it helps to remember who we look up to, who inspires us. Many of we ADHDers have a very overwhelming nervous system. We can get very overstimulated by certain things. This could lead to a lot of stress in our life, especially when we feel like we're falling behind. I know that I suffer a lot from burnout, and that can come really quick and from seemingly such irrelevant situations. I beat myself up because I'm like, I shouldn't get so overwhelmed about certain things. Just have to learn how to regulate that a lot more, obviously. But if you want to help your ADHD regulate their environment more, a gift that can help calm their nervous system would be a great one. A great example of this is, for my birthday this year, my mum got me a massage voucher. I respond really well to touch. I love getting massages. I feel it deeply relaxing. Anything with therapeutic benefits can be of assistance to those of us who have a very overwhelmed nervous system, whether this be through the likes of things like massage therapy. If the ADHD has more outdoor interests like going fishing, then something to do with that. It could be new plants or an incentive to create a vegetable garden. I mean, I for one, I'm not the most planty person, although I do work in a garden centre creating content for social media. But what I do find is that actually being in amongst nature, being in amongst those plants, it does add a very therapeutic element to my life. Like, I don't get mad by it. And of course, gardening is very useful in this regard as well. In fact, there's studies that show that those who engage with gardening reduce their depressive symptoms. And of course, it's another great way of connecting with nature, which of course has therapeutic benefits. Anyway, you guys, I hope this has got you brainstorming about the things that you could gift your ADHD for Christmas. It's especially hard in these modern times where things are becoming tighter, a lot more expensive, and you don't really want to go wasting your time and money just buying something that's not going to get used. So anyway, you guys, I hope you have a good day, night, morning, evening, wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you guys all again for the next video. Bye!